So thank you all who are here today on the Outdoor Florida webinar presented by the Office of Greenways and Trails. Today our topic of discussion is technology-based outdoor recreation initiatives, and we're really excited to be joined by three guests today from Visit Sebring, Visit Sarasota, and Healthy Parks, Healthy Person. Each of these groups have some innovative programs, and we're excited to feature them here on our webinar. Before I introduce our speakers for today, I have a couple reminders for the webinar itself. At the end of the presentation, we will have some time for question and answer, so please hold all your questions until then, or you can put them in the chat as we go and we'll read them once we finish up. Please note this webinar is being recorded and will be available to view on the Florida State Parks YouTube channel by the end of next week. So today we're getting started with Casey Hart, who is the lead marketing consultant for Visit Sebring, where she manages and directs the destination's tourism, marketing, public relations, and advertising initiatives. She has a master's degree in communications from the University of Florida and a bachelor's degree in environmental studies from Rollins College. Casey has more than 20 years experience in marketing and brand management, public relations, advertising, and issues management. She worked in several industries before launching her own marketing and public relations firm, Grey Dog Communications, in 2007. She is also a published author of the Girls Getaway Guide travel book series and a former TV and radio travel correspondent and online travel blogger. Next, we'll hear from Jess Bertolini, who is the digital marketing manager for Visit Sarasota, where she oversees the website and social media strategies. With 15 years of experience in digital marketing, she is passionate about promoting Sarasota County's attractions, natural spaces, culture, and events. Prior to joining Visit Sarasota, Jess worked for a travel software as marketing director for a Belizean tour operator and as marketing and creative manager for Tour Fuerteventura in the Canary Islands. And finishing up our presentations today will be Stacy Levine, Director of Healthy Parks, Healthy Person, a nonprofit organization that she helped found through Tennessee State Parks. Stacy practiced as an architect for 15 years before transitioning to community development with a focus on strengthened communities through asset-based health initiatives. Mrs. Levine enjoys giving back to the community through involvement in her children's school PTA and through holding board and leadership positions within her hometown of Dixon, Tennessee. Some of those include the Clement Railroad Hotel Museum, City Parks and Recreation Board, the Dixon County Historical Society, and the Dixon City Council. She also loves to travel, camp, hike, and bike with her family. Thank you all so much for coming to speak with us today. And I know we're excited to start hearing about your wonderful programs. So we're going to go ahead and get started with Casey, who's going to speak about the unique geocaching tours in Sebring. So if you'd like to go ahead and share your screen, the floor is yours.
Thank you. Good morning, everyone. Can everyone see my screen?
Yep, yes. You're looking good.
Okay, awesome. So what we did, and the subject of my conversation today is about our geo tour that we did. And we still get a lot of questions. What is a geo tour? What's the difference between a geo tour and a geo trail? How does this tie in with geocaching? So I'll kind of run through everything that we did. We did name it the Sebring Area Geo Tour, even though we brand as Visit Sebring, we really represent all of Highlands County. So that's also Avon Park and Lake Placid. But we know when we did our some of our focus groups, people, when you say Highlands, people think of Highlands, North Carolina. They don't really think of Florida. And Sebring with the Sebring Raceway has the most name recognition. So that is why we do brand with Sebring. But we try to encompass everybody with the Sebring area. So this is just a quick overview of what is geocaching. So it is a free outdoor treasure hunt for kids and adults. You use either your phone or some sort of GPS device that takes you to the different caches. The caches are actually like these small hidden containers. Most of them are small. Some of them are medium size. Some of them are very large. It just really depends on the different caches and who hides them. But they take people to specific locations. And so the tour is actually a group of them. So it actually provides a tour of the area. And we thought it was going to be a good fit for us being an outdoor activity for us, but then also helps people go throughout the entire community, which was important to some of the other cities like Lake Placid and Avon Park, who kind of feel like Sebring gets most of the visitors. This is a way to spread people throughout the county and show them what we have throughout the entire county and not just in Sebring. So through the Geo Tour, they get to find out history about the county, go to some of our culinary hotspots. They also do some outdoor adventures and then also see some of the charm that our towns have. And the actual tour is a customized package through geocaching headquarters, which is geocaching.com. And that really shows people where the tours are, where the geocaching hotspots are. So we feel like partnering with the geocaching headquarters was really key for us. That way the geocachers who are passionate and very active can find our tour amongst all the other tours throughout the world. So in looking at this, we really had two target audiences. Obviously, we are the tourism office for the county, so we were interested in how we could get visitors here. As I mentioned, the geocaching community is very passionate about geocaching. If you know anybody who geocaches, or if you come in contact with them, these people are really into caching. They travel for caching. They make a note, sometimes they want to cache in every state. They have different goals that they set. So this was a good way for us to bring visitors to the area with something that was, free, they could do on their own time. It wasn't like some of the things that we do are 2-day festivals. So if they can't come that weekend, it becomes difficult for them to come. This was really an evergreen project, so they can come whenever they want and do it at their own pace. The second audience for us were local residents. We hear, which I know everybody probably hears because I used to live in Orlando and I heard there's nothing to do here. So this was a free outdoor activity for locals to explore Highlands County. And with a lot of new people transitioning into the county, whether people moving here since COVID, or we also saw a lot of influx of people since the hurricanes, people leaving the coast, coming inland. This was a good way also for people to explore the county and get to know where they actually live now. And just some background there about, this was probably an old stat, I'm sure there's more. At the time we started this, there were over 3 million geocaches in nearly 200 countries. So it is a pretty widespread program. So some of the marketing objectives for us, you can see, obviously we wanted to create a free year-long outdoor activity that visitors could do at their own pace. Learn more about this part of Florida, also something that residents can do. We also wanted to increase traffic to our website, so we created a geocaching landing page within our website. We also hosted a GeoTour kickoff event to officially launch the GeoTour, create word of mouth, create some buzz on social media for some of the things going on. And then we also wanted to have the Sebring area highlighted on geocaching.com so that geocaching enthusiasts could find us. And so implementation, I will give all the credit to this lady, Ruth Fletcher. She still works with the state park system. At the time she was working here in Sebring, very passionate about geocaching. She actually came to us with this idea. She had this binder, she had everything spelled out, answered all of our questions. I've never seen somebody with an idea come to the tourism department so organized. But she really was the one that got this off the ground. She volunteered. We didn't even pay her. She volunteered to help us set up and manage the GeoTour. She did give us information on why Sebring would be a great location for this. And then she had also been having these annual events every February and saw the growth with geocachers and more people coming to the area. So just a couple of things that we did. We have the tour. Within the tour, there are what we call geo trails. So those are themed trails that people can do. So the first one was Ranch and Harvest. We obviously have a lot of agriculture here, so that was a nod to our agricultural heritage. Parks and Recreation, we had to get permission, which I'll talk about a little bit more, from the landowners. So anything on public land, it was much easier to get permission than with private landowners. The third is the Historic Trail, and the fourth is Art and Culture. This was a way, we have a very vocal art and culture group. And so again, this was a way that we could move people to different museums, help create foot traffic for some of our art and culture attractions as well. And the 4 trails were determined based on the commonality of proposed locations. So again, we started looking at different locations that we would like to put them at, and then kind of group them together accordingly. And so once the geotrails and the caches within each geotrail were established in place, we were able to develop the overall geotour, and then create the landing page on our homepage, which is visitsebring.com. And we also created a Sebring Area Geotour Passport, which is a downloadable document on the landing page. People can go download it. They check off the things that they do. There's little code words at each geocache that they have to write, and then they submit it to us for a prize. Usually it's a geocoin, and that's very popular with the geocachers to get these coins and collect these coins. So this is an example of what they download as far as the passport. So you can see it was important for us to get some survey information. We kind of wanted to know why they were here, how many people they brought with us. That's all the tourism background for us. But also they could enter to win prizes that we did, and then also had directions on how to play, where to drop it off, or mail your completed passport to. So we wanted to make sure all that was captured. And then we partnered with geocaching headquarters at the Platinum package, which allowed us to be a featured listing on their global geotour directory. We were also included in a dynamic, kind of an interactive map, favorite points displayed, social media posts that geocaching did for us, and then tweets on their, or shares on their Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter accounts. They guaranteed us 1.5 million impressions via banner ads, and 1 story in the geocaching newsletter, and 1 blog post. So that was kind of our package with them. I kind of covered upon completion of the geotour, they could submit their completed passport, again, which was downloadable on our landing page, or we did, for locals, we had them spread throughout, like at the Sebring Chamber. Some of the libraries had the passports where people could pick them up and do them from there. And geocachers also like to review each cache. So each cache gets a review. People write a little note, they take a trinket out of the cache, and then they leave a trinket back. So anyway, it just kind of created some buzz within the geocaching community. And then this is a photo of our geotour launch. It was actually in the fall of 2020. So you can see that people were still masking. And this is, we had at the event, we had the Sebring International Raceway pace car. So a lot of people wanted to take their pictures with that. So again, we started planning this before COVID, but obviously COVID hit. So this looked like a really great thing. Like we were just really smart and, here's COVID, okay, to go do this outdoor activity. But it just happened to really come together and be a really good, timely offering for people to do when they were stuck in their house and they wanted to get outside, go, with friends and family to do this. So it was perceived as a safe activity, something that they could do at their own time, and is also no cost. So again, it was really great. In addition to a lot of the traffic that we got from geocaching, and then on our own landing page, we also got a TV segment on Florida on a Tankful. They came down and did a story about the geotour, and that aired in both the Tampa and Orlando markets. And then for September, we received confirmation for different groups that came in. A lot of the people that came in for our geotour launch stayed for at least 2 nights within the destination. Many of them had never been to Sebring before. So again, we got a lot of first-time visitors as well. And then this picture is actually a e-newsletter that we sent out. We have a pretty extensive email list when we do our e-blast. So this is what we created and sent out to entice people to come to the kickoff event. And then you can see on the left side some of the online analytics from geocaching.com, also analytics from our landing page, and there's a link to the landing page if you want to check it out. And then also you can see the time frame we captured, February 2020 to May 26, 21, how many sessions and how many new sessions and different things like that. I won't go through all that, but you can read that at your leisure. And we got amazing feedback. This was at our we did the kickoff was we did 1 location in the morning, then 1 location in the evening. So if they did do all of their caches, and some people came in early, got the passport, and they were caching like all day long. So in the evening event, they could come and turn in and get the coin if they wanted to. So this was a couple from Miami. They're big geocachers. But you can see some of the reviews that they've only been to the area for hike and seek. They had no idea all of the things that they've been missing. They took over 3 days to do the geo tour. Again, another person said third and final day on the Sebring geo tour. Highlands County has so much history and hidden gems. If you've never visited, you must put it on your list. Another person, I've lived in Highlands County for 27 years, and these caches took me to areas I've never been to before. So that was really great to see as well. So all real great feedback from people. And then so in September of 2021, to celebrate Highlands County's 100th anniversary, we created a 5th trail, which is our Centennial Trail, and that has its own passport, which also lives on our geocaching landing page as well. I'm going to move this for just a minute. So just a lot of people say, well, how much did you spend? You know, what do I need to do to get started? So you can see our total budget, and that breakdown included the geocaching platinum package, which is our biggest investment of $9,000. The creation of the website landing page, the cache and program costs. Those were the cost to actually buy the caches, like the little plastic bins and the trinkets to go inside. And then we had about $275 in the kickoff event cost. And some other considerations, if anybody's wants to consider doing a geo tour, one of the probably most labor intensive or time intensive was to get permission from the landowners. We had to have, because we're county, we had to have signed permission to hide a cache on their property. So just ramping up the education portion of that to explain to people what a geocache is, explain to people how, you know, they're not going to actually come on your property if you want it at your front gate. You know, we also had a couple that we placed, we got permission, and then the caches disappeared because a worker didn't know that that was something that was supposed to be there. We still have that happening. So anyway, those are just some things that were pretty time intensive from our standpoint, as far as education and letting people know what a geo tour is and how their land or their business can interact with that. Ruth Fletcher did maintain the caches for several years. She moved away, so now we actually have a local cacher who handles the maintenance for us. But when we were between Ruth and the new person, I was doing it, and it's not too bad. But you know, if you have a cache that's like 30 minutes away that you've got to go replace or update, that does take some time to do that. And then in addition to promotion on geocaching.com and word of mouth within the geocaching community, we also promote the Geo Tour on our website, our social media pages, and all of our other communication channels, and use the hashtag Sebring Area Geo Tour as well. So again, I think I just did a post on our social media like a couple weeks ago, just reminding people that we have the Geo Tour. If you haven't done it, we added the Centennial Trail. There's always something new and fun to do. Oops. Why this one? My slide won't advance. Oh. I don't know why it won't advance. Just click there. Oh, so that's the end of it. Happy to answer any questions.
Great. Thank you so much, Casey, for all that really good information and practical information for people who are interested in doing this in their town. We are going to do questions at the end, so if you do have questions for Casey, make sure you keep those handy or put them in the chat. And now we're going to move on to our second presentation from Jess, who's going to talk about the Beach Pass program in Sarasota. So feel free to go ahead and share your screen, Jess. You are muted.
Thank you. My name is Jess Bertolini, and like she said, I'm the digital marketing manager here at Visit Sarasota County. So I'm going to talk to you today about our Beach Pass. And let me go to the next slide here. So what is our Beach Pass? So basically, it is a way for our visitors and locals to explore our area beaches beyond Siesta Key Beach, which everyone hears about, especially as visitors coming into the area, they want to go to Siesta Key Beach. So we wanted a way, one of our goals that year was to get visitors and locals to know all of our county beaches. So we set up this beach pass that has 20 of our area beaches, sort of like Visit Sebring. It happened to coincide with COVID. It launched right in the beginning of 2021. So it was just a perfect timing to get outdoors and guide people to different things they can do outside. But what the Beach Pass does is it allows you to check in at the various beaches in Sarasota County and then earn prizes using your phone. We originally started out with a mobile app, and that's currently, if you go to our Beach Pass now, is what you will see is it's a mobile app that you have to download. But here in, I'm hoping about 3 weeks, we'll be launching our new website, and with our new website comes our new Beach Pass. We went with a vendor called Bandwango, who is, all they do is build these types of passes. They build passes, they build trails, so we worked with them to move our Beach Pass over to them, and it was actually very seamless at that point, but I'll get to that in a second. So how does it work? So you can sign up on visitsarasota.com. When you go to our main landing page, you'll see a big slideshow that it says sign up for the Beach Pass. And on the new site, you'll be able to see this information when you go to that landing page. So it's basically mobile exclusive. There's no apps that you have to download. It's sent instantly via text or email. So you're just going to click here, get your free Beach Pass. And there's going to be a little bit of information that you need to fill out. Name, city, state, and your email, and then your phone number as well, so it can text you the Beach Pass. When you do fill out your email, we do ask at that point, do you want to receive our additional marketing emails? Do you want to be signed up for our monthly e-newsletter so you can learn more about the area? And then there's also another opt-in where you can receive additional information just on the Beach Pass. If we have any notices that are going out on the beaches or things that we need people to be aware of when they're in the area of something that maybe is pertinent with the beaches, maybe a beach is closed for renourishment or something, that we can send out those messages so they're not visiting. Once you sign up, you'll get it downloaded on your phone, and then you can just save it as a little icon on your home screen. The app is, or not the app, the experience that you download is very intuitive, that it walks the users through all those steps, which is really great for us so we don't get those questions. And then basically the mobile pass will verify your location with your phone's location versus the GPS coordinates that we entered for the beach. And it allows you to check in if you're close range. If you're not in close enough range to the beach where you're trying to check in, then it gives you a little prompt like, please move closer to the beach. There's a lot of people who just want to get the prizes, so they drive down the road and try to check into all the beaches by just being close enough. So it is a little bit more of a geofenced area this time, so they actually have to go out and enjoy those beaches. Each of the check-ins is worth 10 points, and then those points can be redeemed for prizes. And we use prizes that are from of our local area businesses here. So this is some screenshots of the Beach Pass, what it would look like on your phone. So on the left here is we have the beaches that you can check into. You can filter them by distance of closest to where you are right now. You can do them alphabetical. You can also sort them by point system, but as all of our beaches are 10 points, that doesn't matter as much. You can also click on the map, and it'll bring up the screen here where it shows you all the beaches that you can check into in Sarasota County. So we have everything from Longboat Key in the north down to Minnesota in the south and Inglewood. So it gives our users a great idea of all the different beaches in Sarasota County. When you click into each beach, you can get a little bit of a description of the beach, what to expect. We have various different beaches here. So that's why, you know, is it great for shelling? Is it great for shark tooth hunting? Is it sandy? What other amenities does it have? And then also, if you click on the little info button, there's a link to visit the website. This will connect them directly to the county or city website who actually maintains the beach. So if there's additional questions or if they want to see additional facilities at that beach, or they can click a get directions button where they can basically get directions from where they're at right now to the beach. Lastly, there is the check-in button, and that's what they would click when they're in the area. When they click that button, it will do a pop-up saying we need to verify your location. It grabs the location you're at right now. If you're within that geofence of the beach, then it allows you to check in and earn the points. What is great with the platform we're moving to right now, Bandwango, is that they handle all support and maintenance. So what we love about it is right now on our current platform, if someone's having an issue checking in, they call our visitor center. Our visitor center staff has to handle those issues, which usually involves me going to check the pass to make sure there's nothing broken on the back end. And it's just extra upkeep for our staff. So with Bandwango, in their yearly maintenance fees, they handle all of that. So the little support button that they see on an app goes directly to their call staff that are there to answer all their questions. If for some reason their phone doesn't have cellular service or something and they can't check in, they'll ask the user, hey, take a quick snapshot of the beach and email it to us. We'll get you checked in manually. So they handle all those types of questions and issues. And then also upload or bringing the Beach Pass onto their platform was very easy for us. I basically sent them a spreadsheet with what you see on the screen. It included the name of the beach, the GPS coordinates, short description, website, and a photo. And they went through and they built the whole pass for us. And it was very nice to walk through. And then they capture all the data for us as well. And so just to we are doing 2 passes with them. So like when we're talking about build, when we had our contract, it is for 2 passes. So they'll work with different places on pricing and stuff like that. But it was roughly for a year and a half, because we're building now to start in October. It was roughly $10,000 to build 2 passes and then $6,500 for the maintenance of those 2 passes throughout the year. But like I said, that is on, we're also doing a media pass for our visitors, and that's going to be a completely different look and feel, but it's using the same platform. So we're really excited about that. So prizes. So once you check into a beach, you can go to the little reward screen here, and it's going to pull up the different prizes that we have. Our main prize is a 24-ounce custom Tervis tumbler. So as many of you know, that Tervis is headquartered here in North Venice. So when you get your tumbler, it actually says North Venice at the bottom, which is great. It's supporting local. And so these tumblers are only for what we call our Beach Pass ambassadors. So who have reached 100 points by visiting 10 beaches. Everyone wants a tumbler because you can only get them if you go through the Beach Pass. They're a really great thing to take home. Our locals love them. Our visitors love them. So when you go ahead and get 10 beaches or 100 points, you can pick one of these up at our visitor center. If you visit one beach, you can claim that for a restaurant coupon. We have different restaurants we'll partner with in the local area for maybe free apps or a discount, free drinks, things like that. And then we also have at 40 points is a Sarasota swag bag, which is, it could be a tote bag with beach balls, sunglasses, sunscreen, different things that we have, some of our promotional items that we package together for our visitors. So what happens is when you get to a certain amount of points, you can click the Claim Now button. And what that'll do is pop up and give you information about our visitor center and the hours that they can pick up their prize. And then when they get into the visitor center, you can show your phone to our volunteers and our part-time staff there, and they can click that you've picked up and verified your prize, and they'll hand you all your stuff there. We also do mail things to visitors if they aren't able to get to our visitor center while they're open. During COVID, when we first reopened, of course, our visitor center was only open very limited hours. We were mailing out a lot of prizes because we weren't making our visitors and our guests coming in. But it's worked out very well for us. On our current pass, we have over 3,500 users that have signed up to use the pass since we started in 2021. And we're looking forward to what we can see with the new passes. We're going to have a little bit more data that's coming in. So what are we going to capture with the new pass? So we will get the date, time, and location of each check-in, so we can see which beach is the most popular. We can see what time of day people are going to the beaches, what days are most popular. Is it weekends? Is it weekdays? how many users have signed up, so we can kind of see the average number of beaches people are checking into, what state the user is from. When you do your initial sign up, it asks you for just the city and state. It doesn't ask you for your full address, but that allows us to see like who is using our beach pass. Is it visitors coming in from out of state? Is our in-market drive? Is it our locals or our seasonal residents? How many points each user has, so we can kind of see where they're at on a point basis. What prizes have been redeemed? That's great for our staff and house to know, like for inventory, what do we need to reorder? What is the most popular? What are we using? And then, of course, like I mentioned before, their email address. If the user has opted in to receive additional marketing emails, then we can use that and add them to our monthly e-newsletter list, where they'll hear about all the other fun things that they can do in the Sarasota area. So we are really excited about where it's going and what we have been doing. It's had great success so far. We allow users to check into each beach once, so they can't go to the same beach every day and check in and earn points that way. They have to explore the different beaches. But we've heard, from visitors like, hey, I never knew that South Lido had such a great beach, and it's not as there's not as many visitors that go there as Siesta Key, or we had great time shark tooth hunting in Casperson, and this is what we picked up. So it allows them to kind of explore those different areas, and then also bring money into the other towns, Venice, Inglewood, Nokomis, Osprey, that are along those beaches as well, and let them see different areas. So that we're leaving questions to the end, but thank you, everyone.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Jess. Great information about the Beach Pass program and where the Beach Pass program is headed in these next few weeks. Excited to see how it evolves. And we are going to move on to our last presentation today. Last but not least, we have Stacy with Healthy Parks, Healthy Person.
Hi, everyone. All right, can you see my screen?
Yep, you look good.
All righty. Well, thanks so much. It was great to hear from Casey and Jess. Really interesting programs. Loved hearing that. I learned a lot. I'm Stacy Levine. I'm the director of a program called Healthy Parks, Healthy Person here in Tennessee. I will say my husband's from Florida, so I am back in Florida several times a year. I love visiting all the parks in Central Florida there. And along the coast, of course. But I'm going to talk to you today about a statewide program we have here in Tennessee that is based loosely on a program that the National Park Service has called Healthy Parks, Healthy People. And it's a program that promotes parks and outdoors as a health resource. And I'm going to kind of walk you through the why the state needed to do something like this here in Tennessee, and then how we came about it. So first of all, the state of our states, this is just some information from cdc.gov, just some of the statistics of the health stats from across the nation. 133 million Americans suffer from chronic diseases. We know that 14.7 million children and 79 million adults are obese. And then the estimated annual medical costs of all of these issues is just astronomical across the nation. And then the 2022 state rankings came out recently, and here's a snapshot of the United States. Every year here in Tennessee, we are consistently in the bottom 10. This is a major issue. In 2022, we were 44th. But look at you guys there in Florida. You're a little bit lighter blue. Florida last year was ranked 27th. So you're doing quite a bit better than we are here in Tennessee as far as U.S. composite measure and health rankings. And then our Tennessee data, just a quick snapshot there. Last year in 2022, we were 31st in obesity, 46th in multiple chronic health conditions, 43rd in physical inactivity, 46th in both frequent mental and physical distress. But look at that bottom statistic in green. This is the one that we consider a huge asset, and we've been trying to build upon here in Tennessee. It is our state and national park coverage. We are 17th in the nation for state and national park coverage. And here's a map comparing the total acreage of each state with the combined acreage of the both state and national parks to determine that ranking. So you can see Tennessee's kind of a middle green, we're 17th. Florida is dark green, you are 6th in the nation. If you're curious, Hawaii is 1st in the nation for state and national park coverage. But again, we consider this a huge asset, you know, and something that we can use to help pull us out of that bottom 10 health outcomes. So what if I went on the evening news and announced that I had a medical treatment that could help heal chronic disease? And this drug could also treat the symptoms of ADHD and autism. It could combat the side effects of cancer treatment and help speed up the healing process. Taking it would make you feel happier and more satisfied in life. It would minimize your depression. It would help your kids' grades and behavior, and it would even improve your eyesight. And then I proceeded to announce that this treatment had 0 side effects, and you can share it with your friends and family, and it's enjoyable to take. And best of all, it's absolutely free. Well, I'd be famous. This is a bit of a lighthearted graphic to show you and, you know, to get the message across, but the facts are out there that we know that time spent outdoors has a positive effect on a wide range of health outcomes. And what do we know are some of the physical health benefits of nature? Well, this is just a short list. We know that nature helps reduce obesity, reduces diabetes, reduces nearsightedness. It helps us get better sleep. It improves our vitamin D. It improves our immune function. It lowers our blood pressure. It improves post-operative recovery. I'm sure we've all heard the study where hospital patients who had, you know, a window view and who could view natural settings through their windows recovered faster and spent less time in the hospital and required less painkillers and so on. That's a proven study. So we know that there are health benefits of nature. And what do we know are some of the mental health benefits of nature? Well, it reduces stress and aggression. It reduces depression and anxiety. It enhances our creativity and our critical thinking. It increases pro-social behavior and social connectedness, something we desperately need after being in lockdown after COVID. It increases our memory retention, and it instills greater happiness and well-being and life satisfaction. And then something for all of us Parks and Rec people, being outside in nature, it increases our appreciation for nature when we're out in it more. Becoming a good steward for our parks and our planet is never a bad thing. So once someone has decided to make a change, say they've decided to get outdoors more, to exercise more, how do we turn that habit? How do we turn that decision to make a change into turn that action into a habit? Well, this is something called behavior change. Keeping a behavior change long enough to experience the benefits is incredibly hard, as we've all experienced as we try to probably create new habits around the new year. Behavior change requires letting go of old habits and adopting new ones, which is not always easy. Dr. B.J. Fogg founded the Behavior Design Lab at Stanford University. He created this that you see here on the screen. It's called the Fogg Behavior Model, and it shows that 3 elements must converge at the same moment for a behavior to occur. You've got to have the motivation, the ability, and a prompt. And so the example I like to use is, say that I want to incorporate 100 squats a day into my routine. I want to start doing 100 squats a day. And so the behavior is the squats, my 100 squats. The motivation is I want to work up my leg strength, okay? The ability is, well, I do have the ability. I'm a fairly healthy person. It's relatively easy for me. So that's, lucky. I do have the ability. And now I just need to come up with the prompt. What is it that's going to prompt me to do this every day? Well, I'm going to choose brushing my teeth. I know I brush my teeth twice a day. And so every time I brush my teeth, I'm going to do 50 squats. And And so this over time, as I do this, this becomes a habit. And so eventually I incorporate this into my daily routine. And now I'm automatically doing my 100 squats a day. And so that's just kind of a quick example of how we can create behavior change in our lives. We consider parks a gateway to health. Another public health tool here in Tennessee. There are thousands of miles of trails and walkways and waterways for Tennesseans to experience physical activity at no cost. We are very fortunate here in Tennessee. We are one of only 7 states that allow free entry for state parks. Again, so we consider this a huge asset, knowing that we have a lot of health outcomes to overcome. So we know there are abundance of places to take our health into our own hands and get outside. We have, across the nation, there are 63 national parks. There are somewhere around 3,700 state parks. And then here in Tennessee, we have 57 state parks, 13 national park sites, and then countless city and county parks and greenways and waterways. So what is Healthy Parks, Healthy Person? And why did I just explain all of that previous information, and how did we come to this part? Well, it is an incentive and reward program that encourages Tennesseans to get outside and get active for their health. This program was born out of a partnership between Tennessee State Parks and the Tennessee Department of Health. The Tennessee Department of Health was looking for another, way to encourage people to increase their physical activity, to reduce obesity, to reduce chronic diseases. And Tennessee State Parks, has the parks and has the access to parks. And so as a partnership, they created this program. It actually began very grassroots, very small scale in 2015, when the park manager at a single park in Marshall County, Tennessee, had an idea for a stamp card system just at his park. He just wanted to incentivize people to continue coming back, not just come one time, but to continue coming back and to continue experiencing all aspects of his park. So he created a simple stamp card so that when participants filled up the stamp card, they'd get a free prize from local area businesses. And that was working. And then one day, some people from the State Department of Health were at his park for a conference, and he pitched his idea to them, and they loved the idea. They bought it, hook, line, and sinker, and they were able to match him up with a grant that would help him turn his physical stamp card into a digital stamp card, basically a web app. And so this behavior was the definition of the psychology of behavior change. What happens when you take that motivation, that ability, and the prompt and put it together at the same moment. So he was able to create that web app. And they were curious, is this going to work? Could we actually improve someone's health by dangling that figurative carrot in front of their face? And that figurative carrot being, this prize. People want to earn that that freebie. And so could we get people to continue getting outdoors and exercising in order to earn that free prize? And the web app went live in the summer of 2016 and immediately saw great success. Today, we have kind of the opposite problem, as Jess explained in Sarasota. Today, we have had to move to a mobile application from being a web-based application, because you can check in at any park across the entire state. And so we were having issues with participants being back in a holler or up on a mountain and not having cell phone connectivity. So we had to create an actual downloadable web app or mobile app so that people always had access to the application. So today it is an app that you can find for free in either the Android or Apple store. I don't know if anyone watching right now can use that QR code to download the app, but it's free. You can check it out. It's available again in both the stores. We have nearly 12,000 users right now across the state. It's very simplistic. It just allows users to log on to their mobile device and log any physical activity in any park in the state. And it is a little bit confusing. It was at first because this was born out of a partnership with Tennessee State Parks. People thought that you had to be in a state park to use the program, and that is not true. We are agnostic. We promote parks anywhere, any size. But again, the app is simple to use free, accessible, connective, and completely scalable. This is what, on the right side of the screen, this is what the app looks like once you're logged in. You just simply click whichever activity you did. I think we have about 12 activities listed. And then put your phone away, because we want you to check in and then put your phone away and enjoy the outdoors. And then again, once you've collected enough points, you can go to the rewards page and redeem those points for rewards. We currently give away outdoor gear items for our rewards. And the thinking behind that is that we don't want outdoor gear to be a barrier for getting outdoors either. So we give away things like hiking packs and hammocks and binoculars and water bottles and beanies and things like that. And currently this program is grant funded from a grant from our state Department of Health. Very fortunate to be in that situation right now. It is my job to work on a sustainability plan going forward, and we are working on that. But right now, the grant funds all of the rewards, and we also we ship all of the rewards to the participants. Because we are a statewide program, we don't have a physical location, so we do mail all the rewards to the participants. So again, it's a free app and users earn free rewards. So I think it's a win-win. We have HP toolkits that I send across the state to different Parks and Rec departments, to schools, to churches, to community centers. I work with veterans groups. We have brochures, we have trail signs. That's the item you see in the middle. Those are designed to just kind of be attached to existing trail posts. Trailheads, so that it reminds you to check in on your app. And then we have posters. This particular poster is our general poster. We also have a second poster that is more tailored towards healthcare facilities, which brings me to the second piece of the program. This is the piece that I'm most excited about. This is our Healthy Parks with an RX provider portal. Our Healthy Parks prescription program has been a part of the program since its inception in 2015. This is just a second piece of the program. It has been just a paper pad prescription program that allows healthcare providers to prescribe outdoor activity to their patients. This is something we have also done in partnership with our state's Department of Health. Here in Tennessee, we have county departments of health in each county. And so we have distributed these paper prescription pads to each county, and those healthcare providers have used them in each county health department. The problem with paper prescription pads is it's hard to track. It's hard to know if that prescription got thrown away or if it actually got filled, how many were given out. So we are moving to an online portal. We're in the beta phase right now, but it's really, really exciting because it's going to allow the patient and the provider to have an open line of communication. It creates accountability and invites feedback. So basically, if the healthcare provider prescribes the outdoor activity to the patient, he will be able to send a link to the patient to download the app. If the patient uses our app to record their outdoor activity, the provider will be able to log on and see that. So it really does create accountability because the healthcare provider can see essentially that patient filled their prescription or not. And so this is what it would look like on the provider's side when they enter in the new patient information. So some of our accomplishments so far, as of earlier in February, I need to update this slide because now we have over 12,000 users. We have, 278 Tennessee zip codes represented. Last year in 2022, we sent out 1,630 rewards. That's a lot of shipping and packaging on our end. Nearly all of our 89 Tennessee County health departments are prescribing Healthy Parks, Healthy Person. We have multiple key partnerships. And then also last year, this bottom point, last year we won a National Shift Award, which was really exciting. The Shift organization honors initiatives and individuals from across the U.S. who are helping advance and promote equitable access to nature and the health benefits of time spent outside. And we won that award last year. So really, really excited about that. Currently, we're working on a handful of big changes to the program. We are integrating a Tennessee Parks, Trails, and Greenways database within the app. This is something that our State Department of Health has been working on, and they are going to give us that technology so that we can integrate it into our app. We just released a huge app update with gamification and streaks so that users can earn extra points if they check in, I think it's 4 times a week, and then 4 weeks in a row, they earn bonus points, just to kind of keep that streak going, and also to work on that behavior change psychology. And then again, we're working on, getting physician partners to beta test our portal, and then we're working to connect with regional and national partners. Also, I should mention, we transitioned this program outside of the state last year. So for the last year now, we have been operating as a nonprofit, as a 501c3, and this was for the betterment, for the growth of the program. Because this is a technology program, technology moves fast. Sometimes state government doesn't. So just so that the program could grow and meet the needs of the users in a better way, and go after more grant funding and different funding, it was decided that this program should be a nonprofit. So we are a nonprofit now. And then I just encourage all of you listening today, if you're in the Parks and Rec world, work on talking to the patrons to your parks, and on increasing access to nature. Talk about the barriers that people may experience. Is it the education? Are they afraid of bugs? Are they afraid of snakes? Do they not have time, or do they feel like they don't have time? Talk about the environmental aspects. Are people afraid maybe to go to parks? I know here in Tennessee, we have a lot of issues with that. And so talk about how to prevent injury. Just how can we get more people comfortable in the outdoors? And always remember that you may be the only influence a person has for getting outdoors. One of my favorite quotes from Walt Whitman: "But are not exercise and the open air within the reach of us all?" I just urge you to foster and build upon the role that time outdoors can play in the health of our society. And here's my email address and our website, and you can follow us on social media, Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at Healthy Parks TN. And I thank you all so much for your time.
Great. Thank you so much, Stacy, for all your great information about Healthy Parks, Healthy Person. Something hopefully we can have here in Florida eventually for all of the Floridians getting out and exercising. So we are going to go to a couple questions here. We have, looks like, about 5 minutes left. So our first question is for Casey. Can you talk a little bit about the process of getting your geocaches listed on the official geocaching website? Did you find that was easy to work with them to get those listed? And if you needed to change a location, do you have the ability to do that on the GeoTour?
Great question. And I wish we had Ruth here. As I mentioned, Ruth Fletcher was our volunteer who did all of that for us. So she uploaded all the caches. And then the volunteers that we have now, they help us with that platform as well. So we don't actually have to do that within our office, but the passionate geocachers that like helping us, they do take the lead on that.
Okay, perfect. Great way to utilize your volunteers who already have the passion and the know-how. Let's see, and then we had one more question here about the geocaching, or a couple questions. Do you think that your program appeals to all ages? Have you noticed a certain age group especially attracted to your GeoTours, whether it's families or the elderly or kids?
I was very surprised. We saw all ages. I thought initially it was going to be more of a family with the kids kind of thing, but literally at our kickoff events, I see, couples in their 30s or 40s. We also see like elderly people, which I love to see them using the technology, but I really wouldn't say it's one age group or the other. It really is across the board.
Great. Yeah, it's hard to find initiatives sometimes that appeal across the board. So that's really great to hear. And then we did have a question here. Can you talk a little bit about how protecting wildlife is considered with your geocaches. For example, where are they located? Are they like right off the trails? They're easy access without having to go deep into a forest. If you could provide a background on that.
Sure. So there are, gosh, probably at this point, hundreds of caches at Highlands Hammock State Park. I personally have not heard any complaints about them, negatively impacting the wildlife there. I will say like things like for some of our caches, they're like say on a cattle ranch, but they're at the entrance. So people don't actually have to go in. So I think if it is a property where maybe you are worried about wildlife or interaction with animals or something on the property, you could always just put the cache at the entrance so that people don't actually have to drive through and interact with the wildlife in that way. But to my knowledge, we have not had any issues with the caches that are at Highlands Hammock State Park and the wildlife.
Great, thank you so much. Let's see, we had some Beach Pass questions. Jess, do you think that this program has encouraged visitation to your lesser known beaches? I know you kind of touched on that, but have you noticed specifically more visitation to some beaches that people didn't used to go to before you had the program?
We have, and it's mainly the beaches that are closer to the well-known beaches. So like, for example, Turtle Beach and some of the smaller known beaches that are just off of like Siesta Key. We're seeing more visitation to those, which is really great because then we don't have as many parking issues and it's not as crowded. And it kind of just spreads them out. So we have seen people kind of gravitating more to those lesser known beaches. Also having that information out there for them really helps to know that there are those additional beaches that they can go to.
Great, thank you. And I think you also had mentioned something about the visitors and residents. So this question is, do you feel that both visitors and residents are utilizing this program, or have you noticed that it's more just visitors, or are you also getting locals involved?
We are also getting locals involved. I would say in the beginning, when we first launched, it was very much locals who were out using the Beach Pass and checking into different beaches. Right now, I would say it's geared more, it's more visitors who are doing it just because that's where we are marketing to. We're marketing a lot through the destination marketing organization as ourselves. So we're reaching those visitors more than locals, but we still do have a lot of locals and seasonal residents that use it as well.
Gotcha. Awesome. Thank you. And let's see, just a couple minutes here. We'll get to our questions about Healthy Parks, Healthy Person. For Stacy, have you had any issues? Well, I guess not issues, but the design of your app. The question here is that done in-house or do you hire someone to design your app? How easy is it to make changes to your app, kind of the tech side?
Yes, we hired a user experience professional again, because we wanted it to be to work with behavior change psychology. And so he kind of worked with Ryan, the park manager who originally was conceived of the idea. He worked with Ryan to kind of, design this very simple app with no bells and whistles. And that was by design at first. We have added a few bells and whistles now. But he basically designed the app and then he outsources it to app developers. But it's really easy to make changes. I just tell him what to change, and then he tells the guys what to change.
Great, glad you have that streamlined.
Yeah.
And then the other question here for you: does your app give users an option of exercises to choose from, or do they just type in whatever activity they do that day?
It gives them options to choose from, and then we also have one for volunteering because I know we have a lot of people who do visit their state parks and do weed remediation or help plant trees. But I think I'll have to look. I think we have about 12 activities. So cycling, hiking, paddling, horseback riding, sports. So we know that people play golf or, anything that you would do outside, we try to cover it in the app. And so that way we can also track, what are people doing most outdoors?
Perfect. Yeah, I think that was kind of the root of that question, was wondering if you're able to see that kind of data. And then I think we had one more question in the chat here about who sends out the prizes and the shipping, who handles that?
Currently, my part-time employee packages everything out. We have everything, all of our rewards in a shipping or in a big, container. But I'm trying to move to a drop shipping company because as the program grows and we have more users and 1,600 rewards, it's really taking up a lot of our time that we could be using in other ways. So I'm working on moving to a drop shipping company that would do that for us. But it's just growing pains trying to figure out, how to grow in a more streamlined way. But we do it all in-house right now.
Gotcha. Awesome. Well, we are just about at 11. I know we have a lot of people in the comments saying it was very informative, and I definitely agree. Thank you all so much for speaking today. We're going to go ahead and wrap up. I will be sending out a survey about our webinar experience, as well as the recording of this presentation at the end of next week. So be on the lookout for that email. And if you're not already subscribed to our webinar series, you can do so on our website, which is floridadep.gov/OGT. And then if you have any other questions or feedback, anyone can reach out to us at Office of Greenways and Trails at floridadep.gov. Thank you again to our presenters today and everyone that tuned in live, and we'll see you next month.